Flatliners is a remake of the 1990s film the same name. This version we have Ellen Page, Diego Luna, Nino Dobrev, Kelsey Clamers, and James Norton as 5 medical students who embarks on a dangerous and daring experiment to gain insight into the mystery of what lies beyond the confines of life. And the adventure begins when they trigger near-death experiences by stopping their hearts for short periods of time. But basically, the medical student Courtney is obsessed with the idea of the afterlife, and she wants to find out what happens about it. She invites Jamie and Sophia to join her. And so what happens is, Sophia's against it, but what happens is, a fellow student and Marlowe, they both learn of the experiment and then they decide to try it. But what happens is, it becomes a living horror as those who get flatlined, you find themselves haunted by the things that you've done. Courtney is haunted by her dead sister in the car crash. Jamie is haunted by the baby of his ex-girlfriend. Marlowe is haunted by a man who was stung by a jellyfish, who she killed when she accidentally mixed up his medication. And Sophia is haunted by a girl named Irina, whose life she ruined of jealousy by hacking her phone. And so what happens is, they all have to let go to find each of their memories, and they decide to they have to forgive themselves. Basically, it's basically the same plot of the first one, but what I'm just describing, it is each of them, they have to confront their sins and face the paranormal consequences. Flatliners, I didn't see this when it came out back in 2017, but I heard a lot of bad things, so I tried it out earlier this year and I thought it was okay. Then I watched it again. I still feel the same way, but this movie is not the original. I'll just have to tell you. I have seen the original Flatliners, but this one's so basically. Doing the same exact story as the 1990s one again, but with updated technology. And this was 2017 when it came out. Only issue here is that it takes an hour. It takes a good while for them to actually figure out what to do about their sins. And you don't really care about the characters as much as you want to in here. The only character I actually kind of liked was Nina Dobrev and Diego Luna. I like the other 3 actors. Ellen Page, she is a good actress. Kelsey Clemens, she's a good actress. This is the first thing I've seen her in, and I hope she is still going to do Flash movie. The acting is not the problem, and plus you have a cameo appearance by Kiefer Sutherland, who was in the original, which they changed his name. It's just, the film is only an hour and 50 minutes, and for half of this movie, it's not really boring, it's just not 100% interesting as I thought it would be. As I say, you have good acting here, and you do make good use of your premise. You also have Charlotte McKinney in here, a supermodel babe, which she's the girl on the bicycle. So there's another plus I can give it. They call this a sequel, but it's not really a sequel. It's a remake, and that's the biggest problem. Is that it's a remake. It doesn't really venture out its full potential. Another problem is that the film is PG-13 rated, so for a movie like this, you don't really get the kind of violent kills you look for. The only person they really kill off in the movie is Ellen Page. And that's pretty much it. But the biggest negative is that this movie is so confusing, so whatever, that I lost interest. I lost interest after a while. But it isn't too bad. It's not too terrible. It's far from being the worst movie ever made. I'm not gonna go that far and say it's the worst movie ever made. But it's definitely one of 2017's letdowns. If I would have saw this in 2017, I would have said this was a letdown. It's not horrible. It's just very lackluster. If it hadn't been for the actors, if it hadn't been for some decent enough direction, if it had not been for Marlowe and Diego Luna's characters, if it hadn't been for them, this movie would. If it hadn't been for your interesting special effects, as usual, this easily would have been an F. But because of the few good things I can give to it, because everything else is just confusing as heck, I'm going to spare you the F or to skip it, and I will let you walk away with a wait for Netflix. It's really a one-time thing, if you ask me. Let me know what you guys think of this movie down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I will see you guys in the next video. You guys keep it cool and join the Epictasticness.